It finally happened. You just got that new role that you've been working so hard, that VP title or that C-level title. You've got 90 days to get your arms around everything. Today, I want to talk about some of the mistakes that people make right whenever they jump in to something new and how to avoid getting yourself in trouble. The first thing that I see a lot of people do, they finally land this new role and they want to come in, put their dent in the universe. And they think, oh, I've got to prove my value. I've got to start flipping the table over and fixing all these things that I've been wanting to fix for so long. Pause, take a breath. That's probably not going to serve you well. A better approach is for you to start having conversations with every single person on your team. You sit down, have conversations with each and every one of them individually, and you start asking them, what are you seeing? What are some of the challenges that you have been dealing with? And then you listen, and then you make note. And then once you've started to piece together everything that's going on by meeting with everybody on your team, then the next step is to step outside of your team and start meeting with the various business unit leaders. Crazy concept. Go visit some of the locations that you are now responsible for supporting. We get so caught up with this idea and mindset that, oh, I'm in the ivory tower, I'm at the corporate office, I've got to look at spreadsheets and PowerPoints, I'm super important. That's not the way this works. The best and arguably only way for you to truly understand what's going on is to go get out in the business and have conversations with these district managers, these business unit leaders, and then asking them, Joe, I know that you've kind of grappled with technology a little bit in the past. What's going on? What are some of your frustrations? What are the things that you've been grappling with? And then you have that same conversation with Kevin and Jacob and all of the other business unit leaders. This process takes time, especially when you factor in travel. Maybe you go do some sort of tour of all the locations where every single week you're in a different region. You sit down and have conversations with as many people as possible. This is going to feel overwhelming at first. I promise. That's part of the process. But what happens, the more time you spend, the more notes you take, the more this will start to turn out and play out like focusing a lens on a camera. You will gradually start to have clarity and visibility into what the priorities are. Another thing that's actually an interesting facet of this whole process is that your predecessor probably wasn't doing all of these things. So you immediately come in and you start building a brand and reputation for listening, for genuinely wanting to solve their problems. And I assure you, when you go on this tour, you are going to get inundated and overwhelmed with all of these problems that everybody has been sitting on for a long period of time. It can be overwhelming. This is where you start having conversations with colleagues, peers, board members, friends, strategic advisors, maybe even a coach if you actually have one, but you have to start wrapping your head around all of this. And then you start prioritizing what are the things that you need to focus on. There will be some things that are very clear and evident. This is extremely important. This is crucial to the success of the business. We have to allocate all of our time and energy to this thing right here. Well, this thing and fixing it could be a 12-month initiative or project. That's not going to work out well. So you need to start getting some smaller wins under your belt. As you're having these conversations, there might be something where you sit down with somebody and it's just a simple change of a workflow within the application and you just made somebody's life easier. Or you sit down and think, oh, if we purchase this module for $10,000 a year, it can save us 100 hours of time. Yes, sign me up. Let's make this happen. So you can start getting some of these small wins under your belt. That is going to serve you well because it's going to start building political capital. It is going to help build trust and rapport because when you do make the big change, you're going to have to change some things that some of these other people aren't going to like. However, if you have already made their lives easier, if you have come in and built goodwill by supporting them and lifting them up, they're going to be more open and amenable to supporting you through this big, painful change and initiative. The thing that I want all of you to keep in mind is when you get into this new role, the first 90 days, resist the temptation to just come in and start over. You might have all sorts of great, brilliant ideas, but if you come in and just start wrecking shop, you're going to do a lot of damage, and it's going to be difficult for you to overcome. Now, you might be under a lot of pressure from the board to fix things quickly. You have to have the strength and fortitude to be able to push back and say, I need a little bit of time. I have to make sure that we're doing this the right way, because we only get one shot at this. And when you stand your ground and you have justification to explain why you've got to spend the first 3 months just listening and learning and absorbing, they will usually understand. They will also probably respect the fact that you don't want to just come in and start shooting from the hip, because that's not going to serve anybody at all. So when you step into the new role, congratulations. Yes, you've made it. Fantastic. You're winning. Resist the temptation to just go full speed and try to wreck shop and change the world overnight. Slow down, listen, absorb, prioritize, have conversations with your strategic advisors and friends and colleagues, people that actually know what's going on, and then make the right decision, then move forward.